Hi everyone, welcome to Edubbey Global Solutions. Today we'll be looking at sexual hormones in humans. Hormones control long-term processes and often have widespread effects on the body. As a young person develops physically, certain signals are processed by the brain, which then instructs the pituitary gland to stimulate the primary sex organs, the testes in male and the ovaries in females. Sex hormones for example, estrogen in females and testosterone in males are released into the bloodstream and circulate through the body. Estrogen hormone in women is responsible for the secondary sexual characteristics that develop at puberty. Let's see if it's true. True. The ovaries also release the hormones progesterone, which maintains the spongy living of the uterus during pregnancy, and estrogen, which is responsible for the secondary sexual characteristics that develop at puberty. These characteristics include the following: the widening of the hips to give support to a baby during pregnancy, the growth of hair under the arms and above the reproductive organs, the development of mammary glands, development and release of ova, the onset of menstruation, and then the depositing of fat to give the body a more rounded figure. Which hormone maintains the spongy lining in the uterus during pregnancy? That'll be progesterone. Correct. The testes also begin to make and release the hormone testosterone at puberty. It is the hormone responsible for secondary sexual characteristics of males. These characteristics are the growth of hair on the face, under the arms, and above the reproductive organs, the increase in size of the larynx and the deepening of the voice, the increase in strength of the muscles, and the increase in size of the testes and the penis, the production of, of sperms. The testis is the primary sex organ that is stimulated by the pituitary gland to produce the sex hormone testosterone in male. True or false? True. Hormones affect the walls of the uterus. Women produce only one ovum per month during their reproductive life from puberty to middle age. The two ovaries take it in turns to produce an ovum, and one of them releases a mature female gamete every 28 days. The cycle of producing and releasing mature ova is called the menstrual cycle. During the menstrual cycle, the wall of the uterus goes through four phases under the influence of two hormones, estrogen and progesterone. During the first phase, which lasts about 5 days, the lining of the uterus is shed, accompanied by a loss of blood. This time is a woman's period, or more correctly, the menstrual phase or menstruation. The other phases of the cycle prepare the uterus to receive and or protect its zygote, and as shown below. Menstruation is the shedding of the uterus lining. True or false? Okay, they're shown on the next page. So this page is showing us how hormones affect the walls and the phases involved. In humans, the cycles of the ovaries of the two ovaries are of phase. So each ovary ovulates every 56 days, but each woman ovulates every 28 days. There's one ovary at a time. Fertilization is likely to occur in the premenstrual phase. Okay, we get to find out. Menstruation, the uterus lining is shed during menstruation. Menstruation is triggered by a decrease in the concentration of progesterone. And the repair phase, more blood vessels grow in the lining of the uterus. These changes are triggered by an increase in the concentration of estrogen. The receptive phase, the lining of the uterus and its blood vessels are now well developed, and this is maintained by an increasing concentration of progesterone. If fertilization has occurred, the embryo can become implanted within 6 to 7 days after ovulation. And the premenstrual phase, here the uterus lining degenerates as the progesterone concentration starts to fall unless embryo implantation has occurred, in which case progesterone keeps the lining intact to begin pregnancy. Okay, then back to our question. Fertilization is likely to occur in the premenstrual phase, true or false? That'll be false, because from this explanation, we find out that fertilization is likely to occur in the receptive phase. This slide is showing us the graph of a woman's body temperature during the menstrual cycle. On which days is the woman most likely to become pregnant? That'll be just before the next menstrual phase, and that'll be between 13 to 18 days. And that's likely the receptive phase. Hormones control the development of ova. Yes. The ova develop from cells lining the ovary. This is triggered by the follicle stimulating hormone. The follicle stimulating hormone is not a hormone that we always talk about, but there is a hormone, the follicle stimulating hormone, also known as the FSH, released by the pituitary gland. And the FSH causes a special cell in the ovary to produce a sac around itself. The fluid filled sac and the developing ovum inside it are together called a Graafian follicle. One type of contraceptive pill contains progesterone. Okay, that's a question. And estrogen. Then it says some effects of the pill are listed: inhibits FSH production, inhibits LH production, luteinizing hormone production, inhibits thickening of the uterus wall, which prevents the development and the release of an egg cell. So our answer here should be, one type of contraceptive pill contains progesterone and the other one estrogen. So some effects of this pill are which which prevents the development and the release of an egg. That is, which of these statements will lead to the prevention of the development and the release of an egg cell? Let's check. Is it one and two? Okay, one and two is correct. The luteinizing hormone, or LH. Luteinizing hormone is a hormone produced by the gonadotropic cells in the anterior pituitary gland, and the production of the LH is regulated by the gonadotropin releasing hormone from the hypothalamus. In females, an acute rise of luteinizing hormone, known as an LH surge, triggers ovulation and development of the corpus luteum. So the question says, which hormone stimulates the release of an egg from the ovary during the menstrual cycle? That would be the luteinizing hormone. Luteinizing hormone is responsible for that. On this slide, we have a question that says the graph shows the four hormones that controls the menstrual cycle, and that is progesterone, estrogen, luteinizing hormone, and then the follicle stimulating hormone. Which curve on the graph represents the luteinizing hormone, LH? Is it C? Is that the P? P? Okay, C is correct. The diagram shows some of the events of the menstrual cycle. In which shaded zone of the cycle would progesterone levels be the highest? Hmm. From our explanation from the phases before, from the phases of menstrual cycle, the menstruation, the repair phase, receptive phase, and then the premenstrual phase. The progesterone levels should be highest at the premenstrual phase, just before menstruation. So I'll go for D, which is correct. This slide is showing us the graph that shows the levels of two hormones during a 28-day menstrual cycle. Which hormones are represented by X and Y on the graph? Hmm. This should be estrogen and progesterone, let's say. Correct. So with this, we come to the end of our topic on sexual hormones in humans. Remember to join us for more episodes. Check us out on www.edubbey.com. Thank you.